Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. I'm so excited having this session today, being a very first digital economy employability program with the acronym DEEP, which is actually one of our first webinar to enlighten what exactly the program is all about and to bring to knowledge what we have to deliver, what we have to give, what we have to make other people benefit from the digital economy. So firstly, I will introduce myself. I am Lucas Ruth Dio. I am the head DEEP program for Mind the Gap Foundation. So I welcome everybody and I look forward to an exciting and very impactful knowledge filled session with you all. So at this time, I'll leave the floor for Bright to take over. Bright, over. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another very exciting program, which is a DEEP webinar program. It promises to be very exciting, promises to be very impactful, and a whole well of knowledge is actually expected to be dug from this particular session. All right, so without wasting much of our time, we just delve directly into the national anthem to honor our dear country, Nigeria, who has given the privilege for us to be part of this program. Over, Bright.
All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on the global impact of digital transformation divide and its effects. My name is Omokari Bright, and my co-host over here is Mrs. Lucas Ruth Dio. Welcome you to this impactful and inspiring session Uh, I'll be moderating for this session, and we are thrilled to have every one of you all join us today. We promise that this is going to be an insightful and thought-provoking discussion. So, as we all know, digital transformation is reshaping industries. Let's see, am I live? All right, digital transformation is reshaping industries, economies, and societies across the globe. So while there's these changes bring about incredible opportunities, they also um, they also introduce significant divides, whether it's access to technology, skills, job opportunities, or even healthcare. So today we'll explore the many facets of this transformation and its effects on global inequality. So Mrs. Lucas, so she can give us a full overview of what the DEEP program is all about. Digital Economy Employability Program. Madam Lucas, over to you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Bright. I'm so excited to be on this program and to be talking to wonderful, knowledge freak minds like myself. All right, so I'll quickly put us through the overview of what Digital Economy Employability Program is with the acronym DEEP. It is a transformative initiative focused on fostering inclusive digital adoption and optimization designed to connect participants to broader opportunities in the digital economy. Everybody knows that the world now is tilted towards a digital economy. How can you be inclusive? How do you find yourself included in this digital economy? This is why this program is actually are born for us to have a deeper understanding of what we entail to gain, of what we stand to benefit in the deep program. However, there are also objectives attached to the deep program. And the objectives are not limited to what I'm going to mention, but I have decided to pick the very what cogent objective, which is actually to mobilize, to train, and mentor Nigerian youth to jumpstart their digital career and become emerging tech talent. Imagine tech talent in the sense that whichever way in the tech economy you find yourself, you are relevant. Yes, you are relevant because the world has become a very small global village with the what with the emergence of digital economy. All right, so I'll also move ahead to tell us what the vision and the mission of the program actually entails. Now, the vision for the DEEP program, which is the Digital Economy Employability Program, is to empower individuals with the skills, the knowledge, and opportunities needed to thrive in the evolving digital economy. Yes, we keep talking about evolving digital economy, fostering inclusivity, growth, and a future for a ready workforce. There are also missions that we tend to what to accomplish in the program. And the mission is to bridge the digital gap. We as an organization named Mind the Gap, we actually what? We are interested to mind the gap. And one of the missions is what? To bridge the digital skill gap by providing accessible, innovative, and industry relevant training programs through our courses and initiatives and also mentorship and resources that enhance employability and entrepreneurship in the digital economy, enabling individuals to achieve their professional goals, contribute to economic resilience while collaborating with stakeholders to create sustainable career pathways for diverse economy. So this is actually the mission of what? Of the DEEP program. And then we have our targeted audience. Our targeted audience are actually what? The youth, the job seekers, the small business owners, and recent graduates, which is what? Inclusive of you as a youth corper, the fresh graduate that has just left the four walls of the university. Also, it has what a duration where we intend for you during the course of your program to what to enjoy being a participant in an ideal teaching session, teaching class where you get to benefit ideally from professionals in the tech industry, in the tech world as well. Also, and then the format for the deep program is actually hybrid. You can decide to take it online, and you can decide to take it as in person. It is actually a hybrid session. It has the online session and the in-person session. Perhaps for now we are focusing on the online session. And then our outcome is that participants will gain industry relevant certification. You don't just take the courses for taking sake. There are certifications, which means there are exams you have to write to qualify you for you to be able to gain certificate and to be able to stand out on your own and beat your chest that you have been able to go through the courses and have acquired a certificate to back yourself up. So I hope I have actually done justice, actually giving a thorough overview of what the deep program is. Over to you, Bright.
Thank you very much for the wonderful speech. So before we dive in, a quick reminder to everyone, we'll have time at the end of the session to address many questions if possible. So we have a fantastic speaker on board by the name Mrs. Ibitola Fabumi. Miss strong background in audit, tax and financial reporting. A graduate of Olabisi Onabanjo University. She's currently serving as the head of operations Mind the Gap. Mrs. Ibitola a vital role in program execution, impact measurement, and operational efficiency. She has led initiatives empowering over 7,000 youths, not in education, employment, or training, with digital skills. So passionate about data-driven impact and dashboard. So with position, Mrs. Ibitola Fabumi, development growth, youth empowerment, and operational excellence in Nigeria digital and economic space. So without further ado, let's get started with our first speaker, Mrs. Ibitola Fabumi, Head of Operations, Mind the Gap. Mrs. Ibitola, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ruth. Thank you very much, Bryce, for having me here. And thank you, everyone, for joining in and listening from every part of the nation. Good morning to you. Yeah, our major topic this morning is the global impact of digital transformation, divides, and its effects. Yeah, over the years, we've been running on different streams, but in the last, let me say, 10 years, the digital world has become a major game changer in the economy. So now, what are we looking at this morning? This today, yeah, we are looking at the transformation divide in the context of Nigeria. I'm going to be speaking in the context of Nigeria because there's a significant gap in this global digital transformation, especially in Nigeria, which is our case studies today. We're going to, at the end of this session, have room for question and answer and also like brainstorming. But I want us to know one thing, that in the context of Nigeria, there's a significant gap between people that have access to modern technology like internet to those who lack access to it. Those that are in the underserved economy. Oftentimes we'll see the some factors like income inequality, because when you don't have access to a good income, you might not be able to afford the transformation. The transformation is not coming cheap. For example, you have to get a smartphone, you have to get internet services. As we speak, we have service providers using fiber network. If you are not on fiber network, you probably might be paying through your noses, often due to the geographical location. When you are in some rural areas where network is not really effective, we still have some areas in different states that the network service is not good. Another thing is also availability of services. Availability of services such as um phones. If you get to some places, you still see they've not started buying smartphones, Android phones, and so on. Lack of digital literacy, poor infrastructure, create all these things are the things that are creating disparities and full participation in the global economy. All these things are things that are affecting it and is also causing excuse me, participation in the global economy. So our topic this morning is looking at this transformation as well as the disparity and the effect in our economy. You know, whether we like it or not, I've explained this morning that there's disparity in between it through what's they called? This disparity is through um, some transformations such as lack of digital literacy, lack of access to good income, lack of uh, what's it called? Infrastructure. Let me say, lack of infrastructure. Now, if I'm going to take all this together, I'll put it and say that for the marginalized community, they are already enjoying it. Majority of us fall in some communities where we have quality internet services, we have access to digital literacy. Like this program we are having, some people will not be able to attend because they don't have that access. They are unable to access the internet. They don't have the equipment or devices that will bring them up to speed. All these things are affecting the economy that you and I fall into. So, as a partaker of this digital transformation, we need to look at the effects and how we can mitigate against this transformation. We need to look at the effects and how to mitigate against the transformation. First, I'm going to talk about economic disparity. Individuals without digital access may struggle to find jobs. If you don't have access, how do you want to join LinkedIn? How do you want to join Jobberman? How do you want to see job posts that are on the internet? You're already a graduate, you are looking for a job, you don't have a smartphone, you don't have access to the internet, you don't have access to the geographical location you find yourself, there's the service provided there is not suitable. Also, your income is not encouraging for you to access that. So that's the economic disparity. All these things gives limitations to that global transformation. It's a major limitation. And when you look at yourself, you graduated in a university alongside your friend. Your friend lives in the urban or in the city while you live in the rural area. He would be opportune to have access to some facilities that you do not have access to. So all these things will hinder the economic growth in that particular region. Because if you are able to get a job, you are able to make impact in your location, in your community. So it's not only you as a person, even the government and also service providers, as well as every one of us, should think of how to ensure that we mitigate against all these disparities by creating opportunities in our environment. You can make a change. We are still going to come to that, but I'm still going to tell you those effects. So another effect that we have on it is the educational disadvantage. Students without internet access or devices are limited in their abilities. They are unable to make researches, to get more learning materials, to widen their horizon in terms of knowledge. And all these things also brings disparity between the privileged and the underprivileged communities. Another thing is healthcare access limitations. These are part of effects of the digital uh, transformation divide, because those are things that we see. For example, people in the remote places are yet to connect to all these healthcare services that are digital. You can stay in your house and you order for medications. There are some sites now that when you're at home, you are able to speak to a doctor who would access you and recommend some medications and even send it to you. But people in the remote areas have been opportune to set up uh, the operations of an e-commerce pharmacy where we reach out to people in the rural communities. But the major challenge is this divide, lack of access, lack of access to network, lack of access to devices. The person you want to even communicate with is using this tiny, small phone. So you can only reach them via phone calls. You can't reach them through what's it called? Through the internet. So how would they even order for their medications online? So another thing that we also do is lack social isolation, lack of online connectivity. This can lead to social isolation, particularly individuals in rural or marginalized communities. Individuals in those marginalized communities, on the underserved communities where they don't have access to internet, they don't have access to some social amenities. All these affects uh, our global transformation. It affects it really. And the reason why we don't have it all round now is because of this point that we have made. And these factors, there are some factors that are contributing to it. I will mention that there are also disenfranchisement, political disenfranchisement, access to online platform or civic engagement and political participation can also limit our global transformation, because all this can be limited for those that don't have digital literacy, those that are not digitally literate. For example, some communities don't even know what we are going through now. I've been to an underserved community where, when I engaged in a discussion with someone, I was surprised. She doesn't even know what Instagram is all about. I had to now bring my phone and say, okay, this is what Instagram is. Do you think you can actually work on this? Do you know you can sell your goods from this thing? So it took a lot of tutoring to actually bring her up to speed to what she needs. And what are these factors that affect this digital divide? The factors that are contributing to it. Number one, income equality, income inequality. When people with lower income, we can't say it. You don't expect somebody that is earning 30,000 naira to be able to purchase a phone of 150,000. It's not possible. So lower income individuals may not be able to afford devices or even internet access. As we speak, this year, data purchase, the fee for data purchase has been increased by 50%. Before now, if you have a 500 naira, you can still have data. But without 2,000 naira, your data within 1 day or 2 days would be out. You'll be out of data. And by the time you calculate the amount of data you purchase in 1 week, you discover that you don't use less than 5,000, 10,000 naira. Can somebody with an income of 50,000 actually bear that? They can't afford. It's not affordable these days. So low income is also something that contributes to the digital divide. Another thing is geographical disparities. Rural areas are they lack adequate infrastructure. They lack adequate infrastructure, and they have limited access to digital devices. Not everybody. You won't see some tech hubs in those rural areas, because they'll tell you, how do I make my money? How do I won't be able to get it. But here you can see them lined up. If you get to Computer Village now, you see a lot of them lined up beside each other. So all these things affected. Digital literacy gap. Thank God for Mind the Gap. We are minding that gap. We are actually bridging the gap of digital literacy. I can say it anytime, any day. When the Mind the Gap has done is fantastic. Build that digital literacy gap is a major thing. We actually bridged some of these gaps through different projects that we have brought out, and we have been able to spread to the underserved communities, because we realize that without this gap bridge, we are unable to achieve the full global transformation. We are unable to achieve it. So that alone, lack of skills, knowledge to effectively use technology. There's going to be another project that will come up, which is going to be digital literacy for everyone. It's also going to feed the informal sector. This project will feed the informal sector. So an average market woman will be able to make use of an Android phone. An average market woman will be able to do online banking, and it will make life easier. How would you feel when you get to a particular location, you realize there is the only bank available is in the city, they don't have online banking, the person that does their POS comes once or twice in a week. All these things are factors that hinders that full global transformation, digital transformation. Gender disparity. Some gender, especially women, let me say, women in certain regions, they also face additional barriers to access to digital access due to maybe cultural norms or limitations in education or opportunities. Some women are also faced with that. And that is the reason why we also have a project currently addressing this particular gender disparity, which is for us to reach out to like about 25,000 or more women, young women and adolescents, to make sure they have digital literacy skills that can help them to be employable and to become an entrepreneur. So all these areas are areas that we should look at as an individual. As we speak, we are all young graduates. We are all young graduates, and we need to understand the fact that as young graduates, there are opportunities around us. There are so many opportunities around us that we can also come up with as an intervention. You can decide that, okay, let me put together an initiative to ensure that in my community, I make an impact of digital literacy. You can do that. So, what are these opportunities, or how can we address the digital divide? Number one, policy intervention. We need our government to help us implement initiatives that would improve infrastructures, internet infrastructure. I tell you, in the estate that I live, there's something I did as the estate chairperson. I contacted a service provider and said, in this estate, we need internet facility. And I tell you, every apartment in this estate have access to internet facility, which is from the fiber network. So an apartment, all you need to do is pay, they tap you into the network, and you have uh, what's it called? Unlimited access to internet facilities. Though you pay every month, but all the same. So we need this kind of intervention and initiative to help improve infrastructure in to help improve the infrastructure. Okay, to help improve infrastructure so that people in the marginalized communities can have access to all these things. Another thing that I want us to do is also public-private partnership. Public-private partnership where there will be some collaborations. You as an individual can also benefit from that. You can come up with an initiative and help with partnership with some organization, help to ensure that some those areas, don't be surprised, even in Lagos here, people around us, we still have people that do not have access to this digital transformation. They feel it's not necessary. So we can collaborate between government and some private individuals to ensure that technology companies, non-profit organizations reach out to people in those spaces. Community-based initiative, that's the local initiative that you and I can also focus on and bring out. So that would help us reach people at the grassroots. And also, in this community-based initiative, we should also look at how we can actually reorientate some people. You need to see some the way some people take it. What do I need it for? As long as I call, and that's fine. I don't need access to other things. We need to reorientate them, let them know the benefits of this global transformation. If you go to some other countries, you see what technology is doing for them. I tell people in the next 10 years, technology is going to be the newest oil and gas that we have been sitting on. Before then, we'll be sitting on oil and gas. It's going to be technology. That if you are not in the tech space, you might not be making the correct income for yourself. So above all, while I round up, I'll tell you that while the digital transformation, it offers so many opportunities for progress, it is also crucial for us to address the divides. Whatever it is, those divides, those limitations, we need to address it to ensure that we have an equitable access to technology, and then we all benefit from it, and it enhances our digital economy as a whole. I think I'm going to stop here so that we can have the question and answer session and also have some more contributions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Peter. Really good to have you. Very excited and insightful session with you here. I don't think I mentioned earlier, one of the really cool thing about Mrs. Bitola is that she's also an entrepreneur, CEO of ITK Servitium, an event planner, and also a business consultant. So looking at all the digital divides you spoke about, talking about network divide, availability of services, economic disparity, and also the digital literacy gap. So before we go into the question and answer session, I want you to quickly respond to this for us. Talking about our topic, with your background in youth development, what do you think is the impact of the DEEP program on the society at large?
Okay, yeah, it's the DEEP program is a very good thing because it brings youth together. Normally, whatever it is, our DEEP program is targeted at digital economy employability program. And what is it saying? It's for you as a youth to put yourself or showcase yourself in the digital economy. Is either you come in as an entrepreneur or you are employable. That means if you are in this space now, it's a great opportunity for you to develop yourself, to showcase your talent. You should be able to learn how to make use of different digital tools. So this program is a great impact in the life of our youth. You can see that the first topic we are discussing today is the global impact of digital transformation divide. Why? We want you to understand that as a digital person now, personnel in the digital economy, you must be able to address all the divides and its effects. If you're unable to write your own CV using different digital tools, you are not there yet. If you're unable to push your products in the digital space, you are not there yet. I also have a business that I manage. And if you look at it, if you come to my status, you will see my products there. WhatsApp has WhatsApp business where you can also market your thing for a token. It applies to Instagram, it applies to X, it applies to Facebook, and so on. So the DEEP program, it's a program that will impact our lives to ensure that we tap into all the digital economy opportunities that we have around us. So it's a great impact for us. I want us to take that home. Thank you, Bright.
All right. For the wonderful and inspiring, also a motivating insight given to us. The DEEP program can be of a very great impact to our society. Secondly, Mrs. Ibitola, I think this is a general question I want to also bring out for everyone here. I believe so. For those of us who are here, if you know you don't want to miss out on any of this insightful session, please, the video is on the YouTube channel. You can kindly go back and rewatch, and also put your questions on the live chat box. And after now, we'll be handling and taking every question. So, Mrs. Ibitola, the next question goes like this. If you were a student once again, you would go back to the university days, what is the one course you wish you are taking that you would encourage all young people that they should probably take?
Well, there are no limitations to all courses because currently all courses are also going digital. I am a graduate, I'm an accounting graduate, and now we call it data analyst. I tell you, if you have actually worked as an accountant, you will be sure that you are a data analyst because you deal with data. So if I'm going to go, well, maybe by virtue of choice, I will want to come back as a medical doctor, but I will want to do it in a more tech way because as a doctor, I'm going to have a website that can attend to patients on the go. So, because I think the health sector needs much more digitalization. So that's for me. But I know whatever it is, the tech space, whether you find yourself as a lawyer or as a teacher, as a doctor, a nurse, an accountant, or whatsoever, whether you find any form or any area you find yourself, sincerely, you still need to be in that tech space. So whatever it is, it should be a general thing that should be addressed.
Thank you very much, Madam Ibitola. Thank you very much. So she spoke about her being the medical doctor if she had the opportunity to go back in school. Usually I tell people that whatever space you find yourself in, always try to think out of the box. With the revolution of technology, the traditional approach to basic skills are no longer or less relevant to our economy. So even as a medical doctor or as a lawyer, I think you should also look in the direction of how you can digitalize your profession. So yeah, we'll be diving into the question and answer segment. And also for those of us who are interested to be part of the DEEP program, the registration link is on the chat box, bit.ly/mtgdeep 2025. So please encourage every young people out there, for every one of us that is online, encourage your friends, your siblings, your co-workers, and all. We all need to be digitalized, and we all need to own our own tech spaces so we can also leverage to make our economy and the lives of everyone in our country a very wonderful one. So over to you, Daramola Messi. Thank you very much. Messi will be handling our questions and answer. Thank you, Messi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bright. And thank you all for joining. All right. Thank you very much for joining, everyone. It's time for us to take the question and the answers. If you have any question from the session that has been taken so far, please do well to send them on the chat box, while we attend to your question right before we leave this live stream. So if you have a question, it's that time where you ask them, and your questions will be projected, after which you get them answered. So do we have people who have questions on this live stream? Anyone with a question, please? All right. So we have someone with a question here, and the person is saying it's been difficult to encourage some youth to participate in the journey to digital literacy. How do you think we can go about it now that the cost of data has been increased by 50%? All right, over to you, Ma.
Okay, yeah, Jonathan, thank you very much for that question. I think I said it in the course of my um, first initial talk that the data is now expensive. However, we should leverage on the results, on the impact, on the end result of whatever we are letting them see. Yes, it's been very difficult to encourage youth to participate, but when you are speaking to the youth, don't speak to the area of uh, the data increase. Speak to what you are gaining. Like myself now, I might have, let me say 70 or 80% of my work relies on internet, and I know how much I earn from it. So I won't look at the amount that I'm paying out. It's what is coming in. And when you don't spend, it's not likely you receive. If you have a job on the island and you are being paid 500,000, whether you like it or not, you have to commute from your home to there. So if you don't spend that money, you can't earn that 500,000. So for me, I will let you understand that educate them on the impact, on the results. It's the results and the impact that you should put forward. Then it will help them to be reorientated to know that data is expensive, but data is life. I can't hear you. Please check your mic.
All right. Oh, thank you so much, Mrs. Ibitola. And I hope that Jonathan has been helped by that answer to his question. I'll be moving on to Remile Kung. She says, how do you encourage people who want quick results from digital skills?
Well, you keep encouraging. You don't get tired. Then you encourage them by getting them to pick the less difficult tools. The less difficult tools. I started when I wanted to have skills like data science, data, uh, in my journey as a data analyst, I wanted to have the programming skills. I started from the data programming. It actually looked horrible to me, and I was quite frustrated. But how did I go about it? I went back all the way again, starting from the Excel up to other tools. And then I kept on moving one after the other up to the level I am today. I've not even gotten to the highest level that I want to, but I'm moving. So you encourage them to start small. When you start small, you see little results, and it will encourage you to keep pushing, and then you keep growing and keep growing.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma, for that beautiful answer. At this point, if you have more questions, please, you have just a few minutes to ask your question while we round up. So can we give you at least 30 seconds? If you know you have a question from today's session, please do well to send it in the chat box. Do well to type in your questions in the chat box. Without much without further ado, would actually be inviting Miss Lucas to the stage. You are still open. The floor is still open for you to ask your questions, please. So while we invite Miss Lucas to the stage to help us, as we are moving towards the closing section of today's segment.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mrs. Ibitola. This has been a very, very insightful teaching, I must say. I have gained a lot, especially with the statement for us to look beyond the cost of the tariff in a network. Instead, we should focus on the benefit. This actually hits me because, I mean, nobody wants to hide under the canopy that they are not being impacted about the increase in the tariff. However, with this word of encouragement, so to say, I would say this has actually resonated with me to look beyond the cost, rather, I should focus on the benefit. Okay, and so that brings us also to another session, which is uh, on the deep program. Yes. Now, there are opportunities for you as fresh graduates, as professionals, to volunteer yourselves in the what in the deep program as facilitators. Yes, you have the opportunity, and mind you, it is absolutely free for both participants and facilitators. It is absolutely free. Here in Mind the Gap, you don't pay a dime for anything. Instead, we bring, in fact, what is more beneficial to you. We bring it to you at what? At a cost less level, which means you have nothing to what? To spend. It is totally free. The deep program for core members is also very compulsory. It is very, very compulsory. I emphasize on the very because it is for core members. Now, how do you make judicial use of your 1 year if you can't pick up a digital skill, knowing fully well that the world is already becoming what? A small digital village. So how do you become inclusive? How do you find your niche? How do you find your space if you don't pick up a skill? It is very compulsory for youth, for core members to what? To join the deep program. And the deep program has a link for you to join. It will be projected on the live screen for you to pick up the link to join. Yes, and also if you have the interest to facilitate any of our courses, mind you, our courses, in fact, we have a breaker now, which is even very, very interesting and very inviting, which is the one of the courses, the Microsoft Office, where you that does not have a background in computer has the opportunity now for you to what? To learn computer, learn the nitty-gritty of computer, start from the scratch, where you can learn how to what? Access Word, where you can learn your Excel, like my speaker had said, Madam Ibitola, that she had to go back, why? To the background to pick up what? That skill. So yes, we have included one of the courses where you can learn from the beginning, and then from there find your niche, find your space to what? To navigate through the digital world. Also, for my facilitators, you are actually having the platform given to you to build up professionally for yourself, especially having found out that you are given this talent for you or to impact. You have this inbuilt talent in you for you or to give back to your economy, give back to the society, to even give back to the world at large. Yes, so you can actually what? Volunteer as a facilitator for any of our programs. And our programs include, we have so many of them, and I've just mentioned but a few, where we have the data science, we have data analysis and visualization, we have cloud computing, we have web development, we have software development, we also have, yes, like I mentioned, the Microsoft Access, we also have we have UI UX, we just name it, we have it. Your own is for you to identify which of these courses are you interested in. Mind you, you have to what? You have to pick up an interest first before you now what? Choose the particular course that you will go about. So, all right, and then we finally, I would say that it is totally what? It is totally free. Emphasis on totally free, because I know we as youth now, especially with the way the economy is now, you might have your one or two challenges here, and that is why we as a foundation, we as a company in Mind the Gap are actually what? Interested in bridging that gap toward to promote inclusivity, to promote what? Adoption, to promote adaptation and optimization of what? Of inclusivity of the youth, irrespective of where you find yourself. You are in the rural area, you are in urban area, name it. Sorry, please, you are in the rural area, you're in the urban area. Yes, you should be able what, to find a space for yourself in the digital world. You should be able to find a space for yourself in the digital economy, irrespective of wherever you are. All right, so I'll give a little space again for us to keep asking our question. You have any question you want to be addressed, you can actually still put it up on the chat, on the live chat, and it will be addressed accordingly. And also, if your question is also about the deep program, yes, you can actually reach me. You can reach me through my YouTube channel, Lucas Ruth Dial. Yes, that is my LinkedIn address. Yes, you can reach me on that. You can also reach me through any of the social platform, the deep social platform. Yes, you can reach me, and then answers will be provided to your various questions. So over to you, Mercy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Lucas. Thank you very much, Mrs. Ibitola. It was really a wonderful session, to be very honest. I hope we all gained a vast amount of knowledge. And also, like Mrs. Lucas said, there is what we call the digital divide that we are trying to bridge in our economy. And it's not just a single man effort, it requires a collective effort. There's a saying that goes, teamwork requires that everyone's effort flow in a single direction. Feeling of significance happens when a team energy takes on a life of its own. So my word for every one of you on this live session is, we cannot do this alone. We need the effort of every young person out there. So whatsoever skill you have to render in support of this movement to make sure Nigeria and our youth are well equipped for the next generation of technology. There's a form on the chat box. If you want to volunteer as a facilitator, kindly fill the form. And also for those who want to be part of the DEEP program, use the registration link on the chat box. Register, you see the various courses on there. And once again, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, the host, my co-host. Thank you, Mrs. Ibitola. Thank you, Mrs. Lucas. Over to you, Messi. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us, and do have a great day.